So the task we have before us today is to build an attachment for a skid steer that allow us to lift boat lifts, easy, move them around, and launch them with our main barge. So let's get cracking on it. Okay, so we have multiple different lifts, and here's some of the situations we have to deal with. This is a cantilevered one, and the uprights are recessed back. And let's measure this. From the upright, we have 13 inches. So we have to project out and be able to grab this cross beam 13 inches in front of there. Now here's a different manufacturer, and its cross beam is only 6 inches from the upright, which isn't that big a deal. This is a vertical lift, and once again, this one we're only looking at like 5 inches. And back to the 13 inches and 13 inches. Let's look and see how wide this. So from outside to outside is 112, or roughly 9.5 feet, a little under. I do know they can get all the way up to 10 feet, so I'll have to make it a little longer. So now that we have that, we got to figure out how we're going to have steps to lock the bottom bar in different stages away. So let's go back to the shop and do that. So I have all the parts laid out. $90 hydraulic cylinder, about 20 feet of 2-inch tubular steel, and about 4 feet of channel iron that ran about $130. And lastly, a universal mounting plate from Amazon for about $150 with free shipping. That's remarkably good. Got my angle, got a notch for pivot point. I'm just going to weld it all together.
Alright, so I have no idea what I'm doing. This is a true, I'll give anything a DIY try. This is my grandfather's lathe, and I want to turn this old shaft down so that it'll fit into that hole. So this is just us playing around. Make sure to wear eye protection because I have no idea what's going to happen.
got my second pin made. Time to weld it on. Looks like we got the cat inspector. So here's where we are. I have the arms, and the arms are a little short for a 10-foot wide boat lift. So I'm going over some ideas, like maybe bolt a piece of wood like that. That would give me the extra range, and it'll also be a little buffer, a little nicer on the lifts than the steel itself. There's the hydraulic cylinder I'm going to use, and then it will end up pushing and swinging these arms in and out to catch the lift. So it's late. I'm hanging it up for today. Come back tomorrow, put the pins in for the hydraulic piston, and maybe we can get a test on this. Well, I need hoses. This skid steer has hose connections right here, and I'll have to have a couple hoses made up that will attach to that. I don't know if I can get them in town or if I'm going to have to order them, but we'll see. So we have two things going for us. Number one, if that cross beam goes all the way to the bottom here, we can actually overextend and bring these back a little ways. That would be one way of making up that extra 13 inches back. However, I don't know if this angle is going to be a problem, if it's going to cause some negative stability. So I would like to keep it more in the straight realm. If that's the case, my next option is to put little stop cleats down here, like one at 6 inches and one at 13 inches. And that will give us the option to choose where we want to go with it. Now, it may be that some heavier lifts, the skid steer won't have enough counterweight if we extend too far out, but we can have both options and experiment and find out which one does the best. So let's put some stops on the feet and weld the pins for the hydraulic piston. Okay, I got the feet welded on. I got the pins welded on, and since I currently don't have any hydraulic hoses, I cut a 4x4 that we're going to put between and manually install to do some initial testing. So let's go have some fun, see where we break it. So when I was backing out, I tilted down too far and I broke my crappy welds. Alright, now that we had a successful proof of concept, it's time to get the hydraulic hoses. So let's measure. So we need 3 feet, but that doesn't give us really any slack This one we need about 2 feet without any slack. So we'll see what we can do.
I went to the local Cenex store, had them cut the length of hose that I needed, and then crimp on the ends to match up to the hydraulic cylinder, and also bought the couplers for the skid steer. The couplers were very expensive, coming in at $130, and all told, this $250 was the most expensive part that I have paid for.
All right, so I got everything back. Got the hydraulic cylinder. Got the hydraulic pipes. I made one a foot longer than the other one. The attachments on the skid steer are on the left side, so that will be the shorter hose. So this hydraulic cylinder comes with some caps. You gotta take those out. This will be the shorter one. Oh. It's been one of them days. All right. All right, let's give it a try. I put a bag over the hydraulics just in case there's a leak. The bag will catch it.
So I had an oil leak coming out between the coupler and the hose. First problem I noticed was the reducing coupler was just regular threads, and even though I had Teflon tape, it was not enough to keep the high pressure oil from not leaking out. In my own defense, it was the operator at the Cenex store that gave me the reducing coupler. It was not the correct one. The next day I went back to town, went to the John Deere dealership because Cenex wasn't open. And the first thing that they said was, oh, those connections, you need a fitting with an O-ring. Otherwise they're going to leak. That was very obvious that that's what happened. You might have noticed that I could make the hydraulic cylinder expand, but I couldn't make it go back in. Well, that was because when the operator put the fitting on, he crushed it so bad that no fluid could get through it. And that's one of the reasons why it squirted so hard. So they made me an adapter for the good hose, and they cut the bad part off of the other hose and put the correct O-ring fitting. So that's what we're going to put on right now, and that's what we're going to test out.
All right, new adapter, compression fitting O-ring, new and adapter. Oh. So it doesn't look like we have any more leaks here, so that's great news. It means we can finally move on to the lifting test. So I had a synchronizing problem where one would open up faster and wider than the other. So I put a cross linkage in the hopes that it'll sync it up. So let me put you guys in the stand, we'll fire it up and we'll see how she works. Go in the ends. My extensions. So on that last test that we did trying to lift the heaviest lift with the electric winch on the opposite end, we busted the welds. So the next phase of this, I'm going to cut this video off now, but we'll probably put a gusset across the hydraulic to the arm here, probably some gussets to hold the legs on a little better, and maybe even beef up the counter arm here that keeps the arms straight. So we can see that we've been using it and got a lot of boat lifts put in this season. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in and see this episode of Engineering. Give it a DIY try. I hope everybody liked the process and the different phases in it. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can keep making more videos like this. Catch you next time.